Let's get it. This is Life's Essential Ingredients with Jeff and a Mike, where we hope to inform, inspire, and transform lives, one essential ingredient at a time. Welcome to the show. Man, just living the dream again. So excited. Every single day I get to see my Pacho and start the day off. It's 8:30 for us out in California. Our guest is coming from Asheville, North Carolina, so 3 hours later. But good morning still to everybody, and thanks for coming on. Julie, thank you for coming on the show. Pacho, great to see you. I'll just allow you two to stay good morning to each other, and we'll get into this thing.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Mike. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be here.
Good morning, Julie. The pleasure is all ours. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Appreciate it.
Nice. We can already just feel the love. And that's how I woke up this morning, just feeling it. And first thing, I just want to say thanks to our listeners. I need to do a better job at this. And so thank you for tuning in. Pacho, you don't know, but we're in 15 countries, and I really want to thank everybody in those countries for tuning in. But for some reason, in France and Japan, we go big. And so thank you out there. We're in 136 cities, Pachito. Obviously, Vacaville, Sacramento, Spring Valley, Nevada, Fishers, Indiana, Huff, Ohio, San Francisco, LA, Wichita, Kansas, Atlanta, Chicago are the top ones. And everybody that's been tuning in, thank you so much because it gives us energy to do what we do. And our goal is always to just try and stay focused on what's truly essential in this thing called life. And we have an amazing guest today that's really going to give us some insight on that. And her name is Julie Hruska. And first thing, you can find her at Julie. Her email is Julie, Julie, at Powerful Leaders, and that's POWERFULLEADERS.com. Holy smokes. Julie at Powerful Leaders.
Just the word powerful and leaders.com.
Yes. And her website. Yeah, right there. She already is getting me fixed up. So about our amazing guest, Powerful Leaders was created in 2020 by Julie. She's a certified high performance coach. In 2010, Julie had an awakening. She realized she'd been sleepwalking through her life, following a path that was not her own. From that moment on, Julie began to recreate her life. In 2013, her challenging journey led her to hot power yoga, where she found empowerment and inspiration. Feeling compelled to share her love for yoga with others, Julie completed her RYT, Registered Yoga Teacher certification, 200-hour training in 2015, and her RYT 300 training in 2016, and I know she's up to RYT 500 now.
Well beyond before I made the shift into coaching full time. But yes, the yoga is always present with me.
Yes, and we're going to definitely get into that. In 2016, she left her salaried position as an educator to teach yoga full time. And then quickly realized yoga was merely a bandage for people's root challenges, which is very, very interesting, and explore that. Julie became a certified high-performance coach to help people deal with the underlying issues that prevent them from becoming the best versions of themselves. Powerful leaders exist to help awaken, empower, and inspire people to become the best versions of themselves. Julie specializes in guiding people to create a life they love by developing high-performance habits in the areas of career, relationships, emotions, and health. Julie received her Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Iowa and her Master's in Arts in Curriculum and Instruction from the University of Phoenix in 2011. Julie, welcome to the show.
Wow, that was like an amazing introduction. Thank you so much. And I want to say bonjour to my friends in France and konnichiwa to my friends in Japan. I actually studied Japanese for 4 years in high school and was blessed and honored to spend time in Japan during my high school years. And then after that, France has become one of my favorite places. I cannot wait to get back to Paris and all of the beauty and culture. And so when you said that, I just lit up. I'm like, those are two of my favorite places in the world.
Ah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, my cousin currently lives in Tokyo. He's been over there for, God, probably 30 something years now. He's a professional basketball player. Yeah, Tokyo Dan, give you a shout out and thanks for listening and spreading the word out there for us. I don't know if we still are, but for a while we were in the top 200 in Japan for podcasts. So that was really cool. But Julie, to get to you, we always start with this thought of the day, and this is a long one, but I really hope it's going to resonate with you, and we love starting the show this way. So here goes the quote by the amazing George Bernard Shaw. This is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature, not a feverish, selfish little cloud of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as I live it, is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die. For the harder I work, the more I love. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I've got a hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as bright as possible before handing it over to future generations. What are your thoughts on our thought of the day?
Wow. I love that. That's such a powerful quote. And it really goes along with what I share with the world, which is like, you only get one chance at this life. So live it fully and leave a legacy.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah. And in researching you, I try and do a good job of spending some time, and that's why it's going to be an amazing show. That, I could pick, obviously, I don't know how many millions of quotes that I could have picked, but in thinking about you and looking at your life, that is what I saw. And so with that, I just want to honor that in you and thank you for putting yourself out there to do what you're doing and coaching your clients and people that you come across to be the best that they can be. So with that, off the air, and I probably shouldn't be saying this, but in the shower, and everybody knows when you're in water, Pasha's already waving his hands, don't do it. But your thoughts come to you, and you always, at least me, I think great. And for some reason, my thought just came up onto my Pasha, not about him washing my back or anything like that, even though I know he loves me and would do that. Right, Pasha? Oh, you love me. He's oh man, he's all right. Anybody, you got to tune in on the YouTube channel.
I'm thinking I might need to give you two some privacy.
Yeah, I don't need the privacy. You couldn't say you were mowing the lawn. He thought about me working in the garage, something like that. It had to be in the shower.
Hey, if people will really admit to it, when you are in the shower, we get very creative because you get relaxed and you see life different. And that different for me came in the form of a best friend and more facts that you don't need to know, Julie. But I get up early in the morning and I go on a walk. And whenever we record these shows that day, I have already prepared, the night before and the day before. So on that walk, I'm really sending you energy and thinking about you and then taking in your energy. And for us trying to really have a magical moment during this time that we have together. So however corny that sounds, but that's kind of what goes on.
It's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And all my work with yoga and meditation, like, the power of our energy is so amazing, and we can do, so many things and affect people in beautiful ways with our energy. So I appreciate that. That means a lot to me.
Well, thank you. And speaking of good energy, that's what my Pasha has given me since we were 18 and figuring out who we were as young men. I want to give you, kind of put you on the spot, really haven't talked about this, but who is that friend that you have in your life that gives you that energy that you would just love to honor, kind of before we really even get into the show?
It's an interesting question. You brought it up right as we were going on air, and my initial reaction is, who is that right now in my life after being locked down with my children for the last year and a half? My daughter, who's about to graduate and go to NYU to college, has become my best friend. I'm a single mom of 3 kids, and just the relationship that we've had over the last year and a half of being together all the time and having those conversations and experiencing a whole new unexpected time in our lives, we've become really close, and my daughter inspires me in so many ways. I believe that she is the young woman that I wish that I would have been at that point in my life. She's fearless and brilliant and has so much potential in her life. And so right now, that is the first person that came to my mind.
Man, I got goosebumps all over my body. And I love hearing that. Mike has a daughter and 3 sons. I have 2 daughters. And yeah, I'm really hoping that's what this pandemic, one of the good things that's going to come out of that is it has forced us to spend more time together, and to hear that time that you've had with your daughter, especially as she gets ready to leave your home, and who knows if she ever comes back.
I honestly, the best thing for her would be to go and fly, and live her life. And I'm just honored, and I find it such a gift to have had this time to get to know her as a young woman in a very different way than when you're running back and forth and I'm working and the kids are going to school. Like, to be here for 3 meals a day in and day out, 24/7. It's been such an interesting experience, and I've gotten to know my younger son. Also has been at home with me. My oldest son is at college, but it's just been an amazing opportunity to bond with all of my kids. So
yeah, not to tell you anything that you don't already know, but huge reflection of your life and what you've done, and put yourself in a position to dream and believe and hope and have faith. And so cool that you have your daughter that has seen that in you and now gets to go do that on her own. And yeah, as a parent, that's at least I'll just speak for myself, our goal. Get our kids out, living life, contributing to society, and enjoying this time that we have. And it just ties into that quote. It's always crazy how these thoughts of the days, and I use this, Mike and I both coach sports. He's a head coach at a high school in LA, and I'm not coaching now, but I've been a coach for 20 years. And I always use these thoughts of the day, and they always somehow during that practice kind of tie in. So cool, and so happy for you and your family. But that's enough. Let's get into this thing, because
let's dive in.
Pasha, isn't that what we're talking about? Pasha, what are we talking about?
That's what we're talking about, Pasha. Let's do it. Let's go.
All right. Before we start talking about life's essential ingredients, so let's get into you like that, Pasha? Let's get into probably before you knew they were essential ingredients. Life as a young child growing up in the Midwest, and what story do you tell yourself about your childhood?
My childhood was interesting. I was the youngest of 3 girls, so I spent a lot of time with my dad because I got to be like the pseudo son he didn't have. So I watched a lot of sports with him, and got a lot of logical thinking from him, which has served me well. My mom was pretty hard on me, quite honestly, and I was raised with very traditional values. You as a woman, in my family. It was expected that I would grow up, get married, have kids, not work because that was what you did. And I followed that path, only to find out that that was not at all who I am or what I was created to do. So oddly enough, I'm like the black sheep of my family. When you think of black sheep, you really wouldn't picture me. But in my family, it has been, my sisters are both married. They stay at home with their kids. They have a very traditional life. And for me, it didn't quite go that way. I tried to follow that path. I got engaged at 19, married at 20, started having kids at 24. And then in my early 30s, just kind of woke up and was like, whose life is this? And what am I doing? I don't believe God created me to only do this. There's more. Like, I love my kids and I'm so grateful to be a mother, but there was something else. I always felt like God created me to have a greater impact on the world. And so when I realized that I'd been following this path that wasn't my own, it was a really difficult time because I had to look at the fact that I made choices that affected my life at 19. I got engaged at 19, married at 20. Like, that's insane, quite honestly. And my former husband and I were not aligned at all. We had some very toxic patterns in our relationship, and it was affecting our kids, especially my oldest, who's severely dyslexic, ADHD, and needed a little more of gentle touch. So fast forward, I eventually got out of that, took full custody of my oldest son, primary custody of my younger two, same father, but my oldest son really just needed to be with me, and began this adventure of the life that I now love. But it has been a long, rocky road to get here, to wake up in your 30s and say, everything that I thought was what I was supposed to do isn't at all what I was created to do. And now what? And so through that journey, it really was a process of finding clarity about who I am and what my purpose is in this world, and then generating the courage to actually step forward and become it.
Man, I did not expect that.
I'm like, wow, you're going right here today, right to the
That's
heart.
what we do. There's no, I'm sure you're not aware, but my profession, I'm not working anymore. I have a few health issues just recently, but my profession has been as a registered nurse in 29 years, and 12 of those was working at a level 1 trauma center, taking care of people shot, stabbed, really bad car accidents, been surrounded by death. So our show is named Life's Essential Ingredients for many, many reasons, but learning how to truly focus on what's most important, what's essential now is the intent of this show. Yeah, it must have been so challenging. My Pasho has a comment. This is our little cue. You see him mess around with his glasses.
Is that it?
Yeah, be quiet. I want to.
I like that.
Yeah, so I'll let my Pasho get in there.
Yeah, don't like it too much. I've broken many glasses because he can't. He's looking at something else. I've broken a few pairs. So I had to buy like 20 pairs just for the show here. But I wanted to get to what you said, and you talked about how you had to generate the courage. Where do you think you got that courage? It had to come from deep inside. Can you go back to something in your life that helped you get there?
Yeah, I think growing up with a mom that was really hard on me, and then being in a marriage that was borderline emotionally abusive, made me very resilient. But what I pulled from beyond my faith was very much my why, my purpose. And for me, it's built in. I have 3 kids, and I had to create an incredible life for them. Like, that was on me. That was put on me. I was a mother. I was changing my life. They didn't ask me to do that. That was not, their plan. And so for me, I didn't have the option to fail. I have 3 kids that I'm responsible for. And so every time that there was trepidation, anytime there was fear or discouragement, or I hit a wall, it was like, hey, girl, get back up, because they need you. And you don't have the option to lay here in bed. You don't have the option to sit around and cry. You do not have the option to fail, period.
Man, and that's what I'm sure makes you an incredible coach, with your clients, because you've been there, you've walked in those shoes, and especially hearing your story of how it basically has been going on your whole life, and your normal was living in that space. And a great word by my Pasho to have the courage to get out of that space. And then for you to realize, hey, find my why, and that comes through my kids. And then now to hear, how well your children are doing. And so I sure hope you feel great, because I can tell it was not an easy journey. And to see you standing and doing your thing now and having your own company, man, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Well, thank you. I think that when people are really searching in life and trying to find their purpose, so my why is twofold. One, my children and creating an amazing life for them. And the second one is why I believe I was created, to empower people to be the best version of themselves. So I feel like I've gone through the challenges I have, not just so I could overcome, but so I could help other people overcome. And with my clients, that's one of the first things we do. We get clear on like who you are, how you want to show up in the world, and what you want to create in the world. What's your why? What's your driving force? And when you're deeply connected to your why, you don't give yourself an option of failing, unless your life is just so easy that there is no why. You're just hanging out. But for most people, we have a deep-seated reason to wake up each and every day and give it our best.
I love that. And how much did your yoga training, and tell the listeners about how that probably grounded you, but how much has that had an influence on who you are now? And does it play a role in your practice as a coach?
Absolutely. So I woke up in 2010, which would make me 11 years old now in my evolution. But I woke up and I realized that I needed to change my life, but I didn't know how to do it. And in 2005, I created a really intense life with 2 young children. I was young. I didn't have a big support system, and I started having anxiety attacks. And from there, I got into yoga. So fast forward, I'm 2010 and 11, I'm working on my master's, and I start getting a lot of stress. So I ease back into yoga. And then in 2013, I decided I wanted to commit to the whole yogic lifestyle. I became vegan. I started practicing on a consistent basis. And during that time, one of the people I met in yoga said, hey, there's this new studio downtown. You've got to try it out. You're going to love it. It's Baptiste Power Yoga. And I was like, cool. I have no idea what that is, but cool. If you say I'll like it, I'll like it. So I went there in July of 2013, and it changed absolutely everything on my path. Because I woke up in 2010, but I really didn't know. I was kind of like feeling my way out. How am I going to recreate my life? Power yoga comes in, and I don't know if you know much about power yoga, but you're in a heated room, depending on where you practice, between 90 degrees and 105 degrees. Right? The humidity is between 40 and 60%, depending again on what studio you practice in. And it's anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. And you are just crushing it, like physically dripping sweat, pushing your body to the edge. And in that, there's a lot of invitation for mental strength. It's not just about physical, it's mental. And so that's the game changer for me. Through my physical practice, I really gained the mental strength I needed to courageously step beyond, to say, you know what, I know I need to get out of this toxic marriage. And I don't know how, but I believe in my ability to figure it out, and I'm going to step out of it now. And to look at then, I was teaching elementary school, and to look at the fact that my children needed me more than I was able to be with them at that time. And that salaried position was not enough to create the lifestyle that I wanted to give my kids. So to have the faith to say, again, I believe in my ability to figure this out and step beyond my fear toward freedom, toward a new life, which started in yoga and health and wellness coaching, and eventually got me to high performance coaching about 4.5 years ago.
Man, it's just a great story. And I love invitation. And I'm not on my phone. I'm not a big tech guy. So when you see my head going down, I'm writing. I take so much out of each of these episodes. And selfishly, I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm going to get coached up today.
Good. I hope so, because if nothing else, like, I hope you all get something out of this, but everyone listening, I believe we can learn from everyone's stories. Everyone has something valid to share. And that's what I truly hope when I share my story, that it inspires other people to take a look at their life and say, hey, am I living aligned and congruent with the best within me? In the area of career, relationships, health, finance, are things aligned and thriving, or are there areas of needed growth? And then giving yourself that strength, generating that courage to address those issues that are out of alignment, so you can really create a path to live a life that you love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to get back. I love everything that you're saying, but your invitation to mental strength to courageously step beyond fear. That's an incredible statement right there. What advice would you have to someone that hasn't found yoga, that doesn't know their why, is really just doesn't have any foundation right now, and comes to you, it's just like, hey, I'm just so lost, don't have any clue on the path? What would be your one or two tips? How would you coach that person to kind of start getting into the right space?
Clarity. It all begins with clarity. So I typically, when I meet a client, I have them do a visualization. And the visualization really walks you through closing your eyes, blocking out all the noise around you, and taking time to visualize that ideal life, like where you are, what are you doing, who are you with, and what's the energy there? Like, how are you feeling? And when they identify that, like taking time to journal and write it down, ultimately, if there were like no constraints on your life, nothing holding you back, where would you be? What would you be doing? Who would you be with? And how do you want to feel? And when we can get clarity around that, that's our target. That's our aim. And then everything else, if it aligns with that, amazing. If it doesn't belong in your life.
Mm. I love that. And again, it's such powerful. I love how you start, because, no constraints. So I imagine your clients are going to come to you full of constraints.
Yes.
But then,
all the excuses in the world.
Yeah. But then you just, you can tell that story because you've lived it. When you talk about 3 kids and having a profession and then leaving that profession and feeling this pressure to have to provide, and you're going against your family and everything that you thought was normal, whatever the heck that is.
Yeah.
And then now you're going out. That's powerful. Powerful to be able to, if I'm one of your clients, okay, yeah, Julie has been there, done that, and right nor wrong, most people want to have that connection from the person that they're receiving guidance from, of have they been in my shoes? It just hits home more. And so that's just, that's again, just great that your clients have you for that. Let me see what other questions I have. Let's take a step back, because this is a big part. You're still, even though as we call it coaching, I still think it's teaching. And obviously you went into the teaching profession. But what did you take out of that profession that has been key in your coaching?
My sweet 13-year-old son, Aaron, put this all together for me one day. I think it was during COVID. We were sitting there and we were talking about my client calls, because obviously we were all locked down. So they were around during my calls, which is very different than the past. And he said, well, Mom, you've always been a teacher. You just teach different things. So I taught elementary school, then I taught yoga. Now I'm teaching high performance. And I really do see myself as a high performance strategist more than a high performance coach. I mean, coaching is awesome, as you all know, but also as coaches, you're not just sitting there cheering them on, right? You're not a cheerleader. You're actually guiding them. You're giving them strategies. You're giving them techniques. You're teaching them the tools that they need to achieve success. So my teaching career really helped me to be able to look at people's lives and be very strategic in what they needed. So my master's in curriculum and instruction, I think, is what really sets me apart from other coaches, because most coaches have a curriculum and they teach it, and it's very cookie cutter. But what I do is I get to know one individual client or an executive team inside and out. And then I develop a customized strategy for them to meet their needs. So having that background in curriculum and instruction and creating individualized education plans really helped me a lot in my coaching career.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. Again, very, very, very fortunate for the people that get to experience your expertise. And again, if you want to get coached by Julie, powerfulleaders.com. And I love your name. We haven't even talked about that, but C4 is an explosive, and it's based upon these 4 C's, but yeah, it's explosive, powerful leaders. So we're speaking the same language, even though we don't do any coaching, we do more kind of group stuff and bringing people together. Let's see. Let me see. What's some of the best advice you've ever received from someone that's coached you, perhaps, or a teacher, or just someone that you've crossed their path?
Yeah, I saw this. I was listening to, it's Anna Wintour. I'm probably blowing that name, but she ran Vogue and she's run some other powerful magazines. She's a very prominent woman. And she once said, own who you are without apology. And it hit me so hard. Like, that's where your strength comes from. When you are so confident in yourself and when you believe in your ability to figure things out, when you have that and you step like unabashedly forward, like, hey world, this is who I am. This is what I'm all about. Like, that's when you're unstoppable. And so I think that's the advice. I didn't receive it from her personally. I heard it on an interview she did, but it stuck with me, and I share it with a lot of people. Like, own who you are without apology. God created you to be amazing. And if if that's not your belief system, you were created by the universe, however, whatever you subscribe to, you were created to be something amazing. So own that. We're all unique. We're all amazing, just as we are. And everyone has a purpose. Everyone was created for something different. So step into that, claim it.
I love it. Yeah, and that's our C4 leads. That's our definition of creativity. One of our C's is overcoming fear, to be willing to share your God-given gift. And each of us has it. And it's up to me, you, and my Pasho to bring that out in each person that we do cross paths with.
Yeah.
But one thing that you just said that really spoke to me was heard it. That quote from Anna. It's just crazy in life how, we might come across 12, 14, 15 times and never see it nor hear it. And then we get into that space, we get on that path, the light comes on, and now we hear what we need to hear. And that's powerful. You want to talk about powerful leaders. That's when you start to create change, and your why just becomes your focus and your purpose. And you just, all of a sudden, in the best way possible, you don't see anything else, because it just becomes the fabric of your DNA. Do you have any advice to offer, future clients that are listening in that want to reach out to powerfulleaders.com on hearing it, and getting into that space to be able to get, you've spoken about clarity very articulately, but how do you help people slow down so they can hear what they need to hear?
That's a really good question. I have a different philosophy on this than a lot of people. I don't ever go and try to get clients. I don't like go and market and try to find people and send them messages and emails. Hey, this is why you need coaching, because I don't believe that's effective. I believe that people come to coaching when they're ready, when they're open to it. So if you've heard something, if you've seen something, if you've had that little like nagging instinct or something going on inside that says, hey, there's more out there. There's more abundance. There's more amazing opportunity for me, and I don't know how to access it. And that's when coaching is really good for you, because it's your opportunity to say, hey, let's slow down. Let me look at my career. Am I thriving at all levels here? Let me look at my health. Do I have the energy and the vibrancy to live life fully? And then let me look at my relationships, right? With my friends, with my family, with my loved ones. Are they as amazing and beautiful as they can be? Or where's the opportunity to deepen that connection? And then finances. So when you did my introduction, it was like career, relationships, emotions, and health. And that's what high performance coaching is. But what I've added in is finances and a conversation about finances. Now, I don't do financial planning, but I direct my clients to look at it, because I believe to really live the life that you want, you have to be able to fund it. So a lot of people will help you envision this life, but if you can't fund it, then you're just a dream merchant. And I want to be more than a dream merchant. I want to help people actually create a strategy and create a plan to have the life they always have wanted.
Dream merchant. That's I've never heard that term before. That's interesting. I like that. I want to go back when Pasha's been missing the signal. I don't know if you've seen it, Julie, but
I haven't. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I saw you try to help me out there.
The
My Pasha, I don't know what he's looking at. He's writing too much. But I want to go back to the yoga. I've tried yoga before. You talk about the mental state of yoga. Now, I'm not a very limber person, never have been. I went to yoga class and they had me try to sit crisscross and then reach around my back and grab a leg. And I can't even sit
like,
crisscross. Yeah. So I was never able to get into mental state because I couldn't do anything. How for yoga to get into that mental state, how do you get people into that mental state like myself that just find yoga incredibly challenging?
Well, it doesn't have to be yoga. It's really about pushing yourself to your edge. So whether that's in a physical way or a mental way. So with my clients, obviously, most of them are not in person with me. So we're not going to have like a physical session, but I will encourage them, like, go find your edge. What pushes you? If it's basketball, like, what basketball drill is so challenging, or what basketball skill is so challenging they have to work hard at it. So it's really, whether it's power yoga or weightlifting, boxing, mountain biking, whatever it is, it's about finding your edge. And that's what I push my clients toward with their career, with their relationship. It's like, where's the edge of what's possible for you? And when you work consistently toward that, that's when you gain that mental strength. You're like, wow, I just proved to myself that I could overcome this challenge. and I didn't even think I could make it here. So now let's aim higher. What's here? What's next?
I love that. I love finding your edge too. All right. What are your essential ingredients at this point in your life? And obviously the ingredients have shifted. And how proud are you of your personal growth and development? I'm asking you 3 or 4 questions. And then, just if you were to be consulting yourself and looking at where you are now, how proud are you of that? And then what is truly essential that you're working, personally?
Yeah, so let's start big and then we'll come to me. Life's essential ingredients to me are 3 C's: clarity, courage, commitment. Clarity starts with like, who do you want to be in the world? How do you want to relate to others? And what do you want to create? And getting to your why, like, why is that important to you? From there, it's courage. It's waking up each and every day. And if you're facing a challenge, it's saying, hey, I might not know what to do next, but I believe in my ability to figure it out. And each time that you achieve a small win, that helps you gain the confidence to keep going, to keep moving forward. And then the third essential ingredient is commitment. You have to look at that ideal life and then create a strategic plan to get there. Waking up each and every day and saying, nothing will stop me from achieving my goals today, because each day I'm going to step forward courageously toward that life I want and creating that life I love.
You're getting me hyped up a little bit. I can see you're starting to coach, you're throwing things around over there.
This is the jam, man. This is my stuff. This is what sets my soul on fire.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I feel like I'm in halftime now, getting ready to give a pregame or a halftime talk, and like, hey, let's go. Get you to come in and get us riled up.
I know. I'm gonna have to fly out to California and like give you guys a pep talk.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. So. With those 3 C's, how proud are you of your personal growth and development? And I get that's going to be a hard question to answer. I'm going to give you a second in some of this stuff. There's a short little story of, I don't even know if my brother Pete will remember, but there was, I grew up in Campbell, which is right basically inside San Jose. And we used to love us some candy and these little cinnamon bears. And I don't even know if he remembers this, but we didn't have much money, and he sent me to the prune yard, and they had those fountains, and I was just a little guy, where people throw in their coin into the fountain as their dream. Which again, I don't know any of this. I just see all these shiny things, and he says, hey, we need some money. So go down there and get us some money so we can go to the store and get some candy. So it's right up the road, and Poncho knows where the prune yard is, and I take off and I'm gone and roll up my pants, and I'm in there just scooping up all these coins.
You're stealing people's dreams?
No, I know. I didn't know it at the time, and I'm really embarrassed. But I come back and
messing with you.
But it was bad. And I come back and my pockets are full and I'm all excited and I'm tasting the candy already. And I dump the coins down, and then somehow my mom comes in and she's like, what the heck is going on here? Not her words. And where'd you get this money? And I tell her, it was great, Mom. I just went up to the prune yard and scooped it out of the fountain. And yeah, Pete and I are going to go get some candy. And she's like, no, and go take it back. And I was always fascinated by just the shine, of the glitter of the coins and the sun, shining down on it. And so when I ask you, about your personal growth and development, I'm really asking you, what is it about you that shines? And what are you most proud of that?
That's such an interesting question for me, because I am most proud of my children. I think when I told my family and my friends I was getting a divorce, it was like doomsday. Everyone was like, how are you going to do this? How are you going to afford this? How are you going to make this happen? You're crazy. Like there was so much judgment, and it was really hard on me. And through each step of my journey, I've had a lot of that. People doubt me, people question me. I've had people, when I used to do more on Facebook, I would get private messages, where are your children while you're traveling? You know, don't they deserve their mom to be at home? And it was just so hard on me. So proud. I'm not sure I'm proud of myself yet. I should be. I should offer myself a little more grace. I'm very proud of my children. I'm proud of my relationship with them and how we've created a really amazing life, really amazing life. Each one of my children is very different, but they're incredible as they are. And yeah, we've overcome a lot. So I will be more proud of myself when I reach some of my current goals, one of which is funding my daughter's tuition at NYU. She got into NYU, and I don't know what you know about the college system. I'm sure you know enough. It's a really expensive school. But I always told her from the time she was young, I'm like, I believe in you. And wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do in life, I will make that happen. So that's like my big goal right now, is creating that financial abundance in my career to fuel her dreams and make that happen for her. So I am very proud of how far I've come, but I don't, which is funny, I always acknowledge other people, and I always encourage my clients to acknowledge their success. And I haven't taken a lot of time to do that. So thank you for the question, because I need to do that more. I really do. I think it's easier for other people to look in and say, wow, you've accomplished so much. And for me, I'm in it, you know, I'm in the thick of it. So I just keep waking up every day with like this little thing on my shoulder saying, keep going, keep going, keep going. You have more people to impact. You're created to do more. You have your children to create financial abundance for. Like, there's so much that I have to keep doing. So I probably do need to slow down and celebrate my wins a little more.
Well, if I had better lighting, you would see that I'm crying a little bit. And I'm a pretty emotional guy, and I appreciate your vulnerability and just being real with where you're at. Two, not that you need to hear it from me, but yeah, you're amazing, and you have a talent to help a lot of people through the journey that you've gone on, and to hear that you're still in this space, that you haven't given yourself that grace. Yeah, it's hard on me to hear, because I think we're a little bit similar that way. Especially as a nurse, you're always taking care of other people, and sometimes you don't do enough to take care of yourself. And then now with my challenges that I have going on, I'm slowly surrendering, and I love that word, surrendering, to what this life looks like now. And I'm trying to get it and get in the space of just impermanence. And I don't know if you're really familiar with that word, probably through your yoga.
Very much so.
Yeah. And that word has given me some peace, because I'm trying to be more in the moment, because I would be doing several things, and I realize that all these moments, they're all impermanent. And if I can learn to be here now, and to let go of things that are doing me no good, are these ingredients that are part of my life that no longer serve me. And you need to hear that.
Yeah.
That time in your life, it served its purpose during,
right.
but it no longer is serving its purpose. And so whatever you have to do to take that ingredient out, and one of the things that we're going to do once we start going live is I'm going to have we already have a pizza oven on the back of a truck, and I'm going to allow people the space to write down on a piece of paper what that ingredient is, and to be able, if they want to speak to it amongst other people, and then to throw it in the fire and be like, hey, when this goes in the fire, I'm no longer going to carry that. And once we can get into that space and realize that this thing called life we're only here for a short amount of time, and that I can't carry it, because one of the other guests that we had on was C-Rock, and he just spoke his truth, and he might rub people the wrong way because he's a little abrasive, but I loved it because he just said, hey, we got to go and get it now. And he takes offense when people aren't in that space, because the world needs it. And I'm getting a little long-winded, but so yeah, I just want to say that this show, myself, Mike, we honor you and what we see, and thank you so much for sharing your deep thoughts.
You know, it's something that's been on me a lot lately. I think so. I've developed quite a following on LinkedIn, and I do a lot of videos and share a lot, and it's very much in the areas of high performance and becoming your best self and living your best life. And what I've started to see is the need to be more open and more vulnerable, because I think a lot of times thought leaders kind of appear to have it all together and to be completely perfect, and they create this ideal life. And the truth is, everyone has challenges, everyone struggles. For me, I haven't given myself permission to say congratulations, well done, because I'm in the midst of, like, right now, the last few months, a lot of people's opinions again. I can't believe you're letting your daughter go to that college. How are you going to pay for it? Like all of this limiting belief, the scarcity mindset. And so as much as I try to like insulate myself from it, I've been feeling a lot of it lately. And so thank you for the opportunity to just be open with it and to share that, you know what, I am, like everyone else, a work in progress, and I'm doing the best I can to live my best life and to inspire other people to do that.
Yeah, well, you're doing it. You're doing it. And speaking of inspiration, what is a song when you're like, man, come on, I need to get going. I'm just not having a great day. What's the song that's just going to get you kind of right, we'll just say?
My theme song for life is One Republic's I Lived. And I said, I did it all. You know that song?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I have it right here on my phone. Play. It's just one of those, like, I hope that you live life fully, right? Like, live it all. Broken bones, broken hearts, whatever it is. I want to get to my life at the end and say, wow, I can't believe I did that. No regrets. I never want to look back and say, I wish I would have. And so that song to me embodies everything. Like, I lived, I did it all. I showed up fully. I loved deeply, and I created a life I loved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I use that song in the work that I do. I always throw out questions when we're working on our communication, which is listening with an empathetic ear. I get people partnered up, and I'm definitely rocking that song. I love One Republic. So yeah. All right, hey, we're getting close to being done. So I have two more things that I would like you to shine your light on, and I would say it falls under, since we go with C4. I normally don't even talk about our stuff, but I'm throwing a little bit in. I created this process called Light the Fuse, and it's a goal setting, but I'm going to simplify it for today. What are 3 actions that the listeners can take today to appreciate just this day?
To appreciate this day. Number 1, gratitude. Like, take time to look around, to open your eyes, get present in the moment. So I guess it'd be presence and gratitude. So get present in the moment. You know, what do you see? What do you feel? And then looking at gratitude, like what are the things you're grateful for? And then setting an intention to do something. Like if this was your last day on life, on earth, right? What would you do? Who would you call? What email would you send? Who would you go see? What food would you eat? Like when you live with that in mind, like, hey, today really is all we have. It's all that's promised. That's when you truly live fully. So when you lay your head on that pillow at night, if it was your last day, you said everything you had to say, you did everything that you wanted to do, and like life is complete.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Now, last question. What is the question that this big dummy and that big dummy in San Francisco were you like, hey, what, Jeff, Mike, why haven't you asked me this? We need to talk about this. I can't get off the show with listeners all over the place without, saying this. What have we missed?
That's a really good question. I don't know that you've missed anything. I think what I do just in general with people is I really help people pause and look at their life in the areas of career, relationships, health, finance, to determine where they're functioning at their optimal levels and where they're not. So whether you work with a coach, a high performance strategist, or whether you just take time and do it on your own, like stop living life by happenstance. Be intentional. Be intentional when you wake up in the morning. This is who I am. This is what today's about. And then end your day with gratitude. Like, thank you for the opportunity to be alive today and to serve in this way. And I think that would be the most important thing I'd want to leave your listeners with is stop living life like a hamster in the wheel, just going through the motions. Be intentional about the life you want to create and then give yourself permission to create it.
I love it. I love it. Awaken, empower, inspire with Julie Hruska. PowerfulLeaders.com. Pashito. Get us out of here, baby.
Wow. Julie, thank you so much for sharing your story and being here. And I know I speak for my Pasha. We're very proud of your courage, and you come off as a very inspirational, very powerful person. And I think anyone would be lucky to have you as a coach and to help them out. I know you've helped us out and all our listeners today. And thank you. And once again, just so you know, we are very proud of you and where you've come today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Mike, so much. Thank you to all the listeners. It's been really an honor and wow, like right to my heart today. So thank you for taking me there.
Well, thank you for that. And that's what we do on Life's Essential Ingredients. We just get down to the essential ingredients. And please reach out to me, Jeff at C4 Leaders. If you're in California, it's going to get cracking soon. We're supposed to be opening things up. Pasha and I want to get out and bring our pizza truck to you when we want to drop some C4 on you. And we want Yes. And actually, man, hey, the pizza, you got to come out. The pizza is on point.
I know. I love California. I can't wait to get out there, and I will definitely have some delicious pizza with you all and share it with other people. That's
right. That's what we're doing. Again, listeners, thank you so much from all over the place. You give us inspiration to do what we do. This has been another episode of Life's Essential Ingredients. Pashito. Boom, baby. That just happened.